Welcome to Module 4, Lesson 6, Scatterplots. So a scatterplot is a graph that uses points to display values for two variables. They show relationships or trends between the two variables. So I have an example here of a scatterplot. The x-axis is the number of hours studied, and the y-axis is the test scores, right? So it's showing data maybe on a few students who took an exam and how they scored based on the number of hours that they studied, right? So each point represents a student's study hours and their test score. So when we're looking at scatter plots, there's something called a correlation. You could either have no correlation, a negative correlation, or a positive correlation. So we'll start with a positive correlation. And as one variable increases, the other also increases, right? So an example would be the scatter plot that we just looked at, study hours versus the test scores, right? The more hours that were studied, the higher the test score was. Then we'll move on to negative correlation. That's as one variable increases, the other decreases. So an example of that would be the number of absences versus grades, right? So the more a student is absent, the lower their grade will be. And then we have no correlation. That's no clear relationship. An example of that would be somebody's shoe size versus their test score, right? One doesn't have an effect on the other. Please pause this video and work on the Lesson 6, Level 1 problems in the workbook. Let's take a look at some practice problems. The number of hours spent on math homework during 1 week and the math exam grades for 11 students in Miss Smith's algebra class are plotted below, right? So if we look at the scatter plot, our x-axis is the time spent on math homework, and the y-axis is the exam grade. Based on the plotted data, what is the correlation between the time spent on homework and the exam grade? So let's take a look at the graph. It looks like as the time spent on homework increases, so does the exam grade, right? The higher this number is on the x-axis, the higher this number is on the y-axis for the most part. So we can say that there's a positive correlation. The more time students spent on their math homework, the higher they scored on the exam. Please pause this video and work on the Lesson 6, Level 2 problems in the workbook. In Level 3, we'll talk about the line best fit. So the line best fit is a line that best represents the data on a scatter plot, right? So you may have noticed that on a scatter plot, the relationship, while we might have a positive correlation or a negative correlation, it's not exactly linear, right? The plots are scattered, hence the name scatter plot. So we can draw a line best fit to get a better estimate for our data. And it helps us predict the values and understand the trends. So how to estimate it? You draw a line that passes through or near most of the points, and you want to make sure that the line balances points above and below the line. So we'll look at an example. Here's a scatter plot here of the electricity bill amount based on the temperature outside. So we have the scatter plot. Notice how it's not perfectly linear. But if we were to estimate a line best fit and draw a line through most of these points, it would look something like this. And notice how the points are mostly balanced, the number of points below the line and the number of points above the line. So using the line best fit, what is the best estimate of the cost of the electric bill when the temperature is 90 degrees. So our temperature is our x-axis. The bill amount is our y-axis. So they give us the x value of 90, right? They're telling us the temperature is 90 degrees. So we'll go to 90 degrees on the x-axis, and they want us to estimate how much the electric bill will cost. So we're going to go all the way up to not the scatter plot, but we're going to go up to the line best fit, right? There's a blue line. And what is the y value here? Let's see. The y value here is 300. So that means the best estimate for the cost of an electric bill when the temperature is 90 degrees outside is $300. Please pause this video and work on the Lesson 6, Level 3 problems in the workbook. Once you're done with the problems in the workbook, please move on to the next video for Lesson 7.